Welcome back, Pokemon trainers. Professor Chaz here. The lab coat's on back order, and I haven't learned my lesson yet. That's right, we're jumping back into Omega Ruby for some more online Wi-Fi battles. So, okay, yeah, we didn't have the best record back in the double battles. I'm pretty sure I think we had maybe 6 out of my, say, 30-some Pokemon get victories. So we didn't really do the best. However, what we're going to do starting this week is rotation battles. Now, to get fully honest and serious here, these might get pretty frustrating because the videos for the double battles were actually recorded back in Season 12 of the rating battles, in which you were allowed to use the previous Pokemon from Generation 5 and earlier that didn't have the blue Pentagon. However, we're currently in Season 13. I don't know what Season 14 is going to bring, but at this current point in time, for rating battles in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, you need the blue Pentagon, which means my previous Pokemon are not permitted. So what we're going to have to do these rotation battles is go into the dreaded free battle. Free battle is overrun with legendaries, and it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out because, as you've seen from my previous videos, doing battles with no legendaries, I'm still not that good at that. However, the rotation battles can be pretty fun, pretty interesting. There's a lot of mind games. You have to know when to rotate someone in and what your opponent's going to rotate in, what move they might go for. There's a lot of fun, and I was actually doing some testing just a couple nights ago to see how I might do, and despite the fact that I did encounter some legendaries, there wasn't a lot to begin with. And second of all, I was actually doing really well. I actually won quite a few matches. So what we're going to start doing is choosing teams of the entire collection that I have. I'm not going to limit it to just who won in the X battles and came over to the Omega Ruby. I'm going to bring everybody. And I think I'm going to start with focusing on one Pokemon to be the Mega Evolution of the team, and then build the rest of the team from that. So for example, if I want to go with, say, Mega Charizard Y, I'm going to want to bring something that resists, Rock, is super effective against Rock, other weaknesses like Electric, and we're going to make a team based around that. So, with all that being said, we're going to check out the team that I have built for our first free battle, rotation battle, in Omega Ruby. Let's begin. So for our first week in the Omega Ruby rotation battles on the battle spot in free battles, we're going to focus on Keaton, the Mega Heracross, the first Mega we're going to use in the rotations. Now, instead of showing off the screen of all the super training and everything like that, I'm just going to show you the top screen. It just makes it easier for me to edit things together for these videos. And you'll see that this is a Lax Pokemon, which is a boost to defense and lowers the special defense. And he has the Guts ability, so if he gets hit by a status condition, it's going to boost the attack stat. So we're going to check the moveset out. Now, when he becomes a Mega Heracross, he gains the Skill Link ability, which says any move that hits 2 to 5 times will always hit all 5 times. And I'm going to make use of that ability, so I've taught him Arm Thrust and Pin Missile. Those are both moves that can hit 2 to 5 times, so they're going to get hit for max amount of times. Now, one of the best moves a Mega Heracross can have is Rock Blast. There's another move that does 2 to 5 times. You're going to get all 5 hits, and it is super effective against 2 of Heracross's weaknesses, which are Fire and Flying. The unfortunate thing is, Rock Blast is an egg move, and since Keaton has already been bred and he's come up all the way from the Johto region back in Soul Silver, I can't actually get that move on him. But in light of that, we're going to make use of the Rock Slide. It's probably just about as powerful, like not quite, but there is a chance to cause flinching. And with a speed stat of 269, at level 100 at least, that could cause some flinching for sure. Now, when the Heracross Mega evolves, it does lose some speed, but its attack goes way high, and its defenses go up a little bit as well. So, to help out Mega Keaton to try to get some wins in the first of our rotation battles, the rest of the team is going to follow suit. Here we have Bullwinkle. Bullwinkle is my Tauros with the Hardy nature, so it's a neutral nature, nothing is boosted, nothing is dropped, and he has the Intimidate ability. So as soon as he comes into battle, it's going to drop the attack stat of whichever Pokemon is in the active spot on the rotation field. His moveset is going to be Headbutt, which is very good for flinching and stab power, plus with the speed of 311. This is our fastest Pokemon this week too, by the way. We could possibly get some flinching with that Headbutt. Now for type coverage, Fairy is one of the weaknesses that Keaton has to worry about. We have Iron Head on Bullwinkle. Pretty powerful, also could cause some flinching, and just basically good power all around. Now, Flying type is another weakness. We learned our lesson in the X single battles to make sure we know not to go for Wild Charge against something with Lightning Rod, because that Sea King just destroyed us. But we do have Wild Charge. We're going to be able to use that against Flying type Pokemon. Now, we do take recoil damage when we use the Wild Charge, but we do have Rest. Bullwinkle can heal himself back up to full, and he is holding the Chesto Berry, so he's going to be able to wake up immediately after using rest for the first time. Next Pokemon on the team for this week will be Tails the Ninetales. She is a quiet Pokemon, which actually boosts special attack but drops speed. Not the best, but certainly not bad for boosting special attack. And she has the Flash Fire ability, so if Keaton's in the active spot and we fear they might go for a fire move, I can rotate Tails in, take that fire move, and power up her fire type moves. So she's holding the Black Glasses item, which is going to boost her second move, Dark Pulse. She has Flamethrower for stab power, as well as covering, doesn't really cover any weaknesses for Keaton, I suppose, but basically just like her special attack stat and the fact that she has the same type attack bonus. Flamethrower will be powerful, especially if we can rotate in and get the Flash Fire boost. Now, to try to cover some offensive power on the opposing side, we got Will-O-Wisp. We can burn the opponent, dropping that particular Pokemon's attack by, I believe it's half, and making them less of a threat if it's normally a physical attacker. And Safeguard, I can rotate her in, put up a Safeguard, protect the team from special conditions for 5 turns. The next Pokemon in the list will be Spritz the Wartortle. Now, Spritz is a jolly Pokemon, which will boost her speed at the cost of dropping special attack. And she has the Torrent ability, of course. It's going to power up her water moves if she is low HP. And you'll see down here she's holding the Eviolite, which is a 50% boost to her defenses. And the defenses are already at 220 some, so it's going to go up by another 110, so over 300 defense on both sides. Certainly not bad. She's going to be able to wall quite a few hits for the team. Her moveset is going to be Scald, stab power, of course, once again, and you can get a burn, pretty high chance for a burn too. Another way we can get some lowered offensive physical attack on the opposing side. Now, she has 2 moves that can cause a speed drop in the opponent, Icy Wind and Rock Tomb. Both are decently accurate, not very powerful, but they always cause a speed drop. So, one of the things about evolving into Mega Heracross, as I said, they lose speed, but if we can slow the opponent down, suddenly Keaton can probably outspeed once again and get some knockouts with those skill link boosted moves. Now, to try and power up some more water moves, we have Rain Dance on Spritz. I'm not going to want to use that really probably if we do have Tails in battle as well, because it's going to hinder her Flamethrower, but we can boost up the Scald for Spritz at least. The 5th Pokemon for our first rotation battle is Chuck the Beaverl, another water type. He is a lonely Pokemon which boosts the attack stat but drops defense, and he has the Moody ability. Now, this is the Beaverl that I caught back in the Dream World, back in the Unova region. And Moody is one of my favorite kind of abilities. I love randomness. You'll probably see from when I've used Metronome in the past. And the fact that it sharply boosts one stat but lowers another stat at you don't know which one it's going to be really keeps the fight interesting. Now, it can, of course, be a double-edged sword. You could lower your own accuracy and start missing every move. And knowing my luck in the Wi-Fi, that's quite possible. Regardless, Moody is going to be pretty interesting to see how it plays out. He's holding Focus Sash, just in case they go for a pretty effective move that could knock him out in one hit. I want to make sure he can take at least one hit to get off one of his possible strategies. His moveset is Waterfall, which, if he outspeeds, which isn't likely at start, we can get a flinch. But we have Bulldoze that can slow the opponent down. And if it's a flying type that is immune to Bulldoze, you'll see down below we have Thunder Wave. You can paralyze the foe, possibly outspeeding them on the next turn and maybe getting some flinches. Now, again, in case there is a flying type on the field, we can riskily lock ourselves into Rollout. It's going to power up more every turn as long as we keep connecting with it. And, of course, the opponent could just rotate while we're using Rollout, so we might not make use of the Rollout that much this week, but we'll see how things play out. The final Pokemon for this week is going to be the Brain, the Hypno. The Brain is a serious Pokemon which doesn't boost or drop any stat, and he's holding the Wide Lens, he's holding the Leftovers, which is going to gradually heal him back a little bit each turn, and the ability Insomnia prevents him from falling asleep, and makes a little more sense as a Hypno. I guess the Drowsy with Insomnia kind of doesn't make as much sense based on the name, but anyway, he will be prevented from falling asleep. Now his moveset is, we got Focus Blast as the first move. It's going to be good for his own weakness of Dark types, and to make sure Focus Blast hits, you'll see the third move down is Telekinesis. That's a move he learned back in the 5th generation, and it's one of those moves that he can't relearn if he forgets it, and I'm not going to make him forget it, but it also has a really good benefit. Now, it makes the target immune to ground-type attacks, from what I understand, but it makes them, basically a no-guard ability. Any attack will hit with full accuracy, except for one-hit KO moves. They still have their own specific accuracy checker. but we're going to be able to use telekinesis and make them completely vulnerable to whatever attack, regardless of accuracy, which means Focus Blast and the last move of Hypnosis will always hit. They could rotate out, of course, but I can try to predict that, rotate something in for super effectiveness. You know, we're going to have to see how it goes. The triple battles are a lot of prediction game. The final move, it is a second in the slot. We have Light Screen, going to boost the special defense of the team, because we have some coverage for physical, you know, some possible burns with Will-O-Wisp and Scald. Light Screen is going to be a good defense boost for the special side. So these are the 6 Pokemon that are going to be going into the rotation battles for our first week. It's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. As I've said before, we can't take them into the rating battles because they are from previous generations, so we have to take them into free battles. There are a lot of potential for legendary Pokemon in those free battles, so we're going to have to see how well we hold up to such power. Now, I don't mind the idea of fighting legendaries, especially now that they've updated the regulations that you're going to be able to use legendaries in the World Championships. Let's see how well my guys could do if I were to try to go for the World Championships. So, the battles will commence tomorrow. Come on back to the channel and see how well we do, and hopefully cheer my team on to see if we can get some wins. In the meantime, feel free to leave a comment down below, letting me know what you think of the team that I've assembled for this week. If you have any suggestions for improved movesets or different strategies, leave that in the comment as well. It can help me for future battles, but it can also help out anyone watching this video who might want to use the Pokemon that I'm using today in their own teams. So with that, I'm going to end off this team building video. Once again, I hope you come back tomorrow, check out the battles, and see how well we do in our first legendary, I'm sure, rotation battle in Omega Ruby. Thank you once again for checking out this video, and I'll catch you next time.